Anyway, we'll see. Um, the Yes, you're quite a lot. I'm sure there's lots of questions and points we'd like to make. I'd like to hear from what you say. But first of all, solidarity to Liverpool University. As usual, you're absolute. I'll turn this off. It's a bit uncomfortable. That's better. Absolute inspiration to everybody who's fighting at the moment. Please do let us know what we can do to support you. Um, Look, I mean, it's been a very strange year, has it not? And I think over the course of this year, as we enter the Congress, we had to think about a number of things. I think, first of all, when I say it's a strange year, we've learned a lot. We have learned a lot in terms of how to educate. We have moved absolute mountains. Everybody in post-16 education has done a brilliant job in terms of ensuring our students get the best possible education despite the difficult circumstances. But what we've also learned in very, very different circumstances is how to resist. People have mentioned it, John and others, that the resistance towards and all scales of attacks, because despite COVID, their side has not stopped attacking us. They continued both in jobs, both in terms of restructuring, in terms of cutting our pay, and more on the ideological front. We got racism, sexism, transphobia, Islamophobia, and so on and so forth. That has continued week in, week out, but the resistance has been breathtaking in all sorts of different ways. And we've been successful. I mean, I think when you think back 150,000 deaths later, and there must be a day of reckoning over the question of this Boris Johnson and his handling over this crisis. 150,000 unnecessary deaths that he and his government have presided over. But to think about those things. But I think we've actually forced them to lock down. We've forced them to take PPE seriously. In my workplace and as many other workplaces, we had to organise to ensure that we were protected, that our students were protected. I think we have to remember that, because too often it gets, oh, this is the government that's done this, the government done that. No, they didn't want to do that. They were boasting about shaking hands, as Boris Johnson was at the beginning of this. They had the herd immunity and still do in reality. Theory about how to resolve it. We had to fight, we had to organise the millions of people who show social solidarity in terms of the mass clapping for the key workers, the National Health Service. All of that shows what is at the heart. And I think what John McDonnell was saying, and the government's starting to realise that actually it's bubbling under, and it's been there throughout. I mean, the fantastic solidarity of so many young people, the Palestinians and Black Lives Matter, who took to the streets in their millions, is unprecedented. That, I believe, is what we can harness and continue to bring to us. Because I think, what they are obviously going to be trying to do is make us pay for the economic crisis, the way they've mishandled the pandemic. A second attack, a second austerity measures are clearly on our way. When you think about what's happening further education, just like in the other sectors, we get praised about the great job we're doing, but at the same time, there is an offensive taking place. The offensive in FE, yes, it's about pay and jobs and restructuring, but it's about managerialism. They're pushing through new observation policies. They're pushing through all sorts of measures to more control, breaking through the barriers, the attacks on professional autonomy. This has been ratcheted up more quickly than it's ever been. And it is partly because, despite the whole experience of being locked down was a very unpleasant one, but we did actually control, in some degree, more than we ever control our workplaces. And the management, they had to do it, because without our goodwill, without our willing and able policies and so on, they will have never been able to carry out the work which we have done. So they had to bite their lips and allow it. But what's taken place since the lockdown has been an attempt to claw back that, to reintroduce even harsher measures to take back control of our workplaces. And this is a really quite a serious, big battle that we're involved with at this moment of time. We've just been through a consultation ballot. There are now going to be 30 colleges across Britain, across England, who will be moving forward into a statutory ballot over pay and conditions. At City Islington College, for example, the college I'm at, we've got a 70% turnout with a 93% vote for action. We will be doing that. We will be having that ballot. We will win it again across the group which I work in is part of 4 other groups. We've got a 52% turnout with the 700 odd members spread from Soho all the way up to North London. And again, we've got a 93% vote for action. We will do that again in the statutory ballot, and we will be taking action if the management don't concede our arguments over pay, over conditions, over the tax or professional autonomy. We will be on the picket lines in September as we go back into work. That is what we absolutely are clear about. Our members have instructed us to do. But we're not alone. They say there are 30 other colleges that are doing the same thing as well. So further education are on the march. Further education is drawing the line. The white paper in education, which the government introduced, and is a complete and utter farce. No more funding. In adult education, there's going to be a £68 million clawback. Can you believe this? In the context of all that they talk about, the need for skilling and upskilling, they're cutting adult education by £68 million. It's a narrow skills agenda, which will not do anything to help young people to find jobs, let alone get a decent education. So I think clearly for us in further education, yes, it's about pay. Yes, it's about our conditions, but it's also about trying to transform what further education should be really about. And that is the liberation of education for ordinary people. So I've got 2 minutes left, and I want to finish this, what it means for the union, really. And it's important, I think, we start to think about in terms of what we have done well. I mean, clearly, you know, the role which Joe Grady and the leadership have done around Palestine, around a whole series of issues, has been excellent, and we absolutely need to continue that approach. The support and solidarity for those in struggle are important, but there's a key debate that we need to try and win inside our union, and that it's this: that it's not good enough simply to be able to organise and resist college by college, university by university. Liverpool is an inspiration. Any other colleges, Brighton was an inspiration. We won a number of battles throughout higher education, Imperial and all sorts of other colleges. They've been an inspiration. However, it would be far more effective if we were able to take this battle over jobs, over pay, over conditions on a national level and not college by college. It's not about simply, in the old days, the argument our union used to be about, should you dare to take action? Are we a service union or an organising union? Clearly that debate's moved on for most in the leadership. We are an organising union. However, an organising union which does not and cannot organise on a national level will cease to be a national organising union. And that's why when we go to the college, the debates around conference and elsewhere, we have to say, look, we're much more effective together, united, not just Liverpool by itself or City and Eastern College, but we try and unite the whole of the union using all its resources so that we can come out together. That makes much more of a political and economic punch, if you like, in terms of taking on the employers. So that's, I think, what we are trying to do. That's where we are. I think we're in a very good position to do it. I think we're still growing as a union. We're still actually people, I know in my workplace and many others, we are doing so. It is quite a real testament to every single person on this call and many, many others who aren't here today, who've done such a fantastic job to keeping this fight alive. They're coming for us. They want to take our jobs, our pay and our conditions. But as the mass movement around the Palestinians and the battles we have had inside of it has shown, that solidarity is the heart of what we can deliver it, and we can protect not just our jobs, not just conditions, but post-16 education, and provide a better alternative to the marketized offer that is at the heart of this government policy at this moment in time. Solidarity, everybody.
Exactly.